Donald Trump was having a meltdown at 12:30 a.m., ranting and raving that he was going to die and that Iran was going to kill him, and that if Iran did indeed kill him, that he had 1,000 missiles trained on Iran to destroy the entire Iranian civilization. Donald Trump was also posting weird videos of himself and Turkey President Erdogan, where it looked like Erdogan was Donald Trump's caretaker, clutching Donald Trump and trying to help Donald Trump walk. Trump also made numerous deranged posts about the White House and the columns that he wants to renovate. He posted random photos of different shades of white to show that this is how he was going to change what the White House looks like. Let me show you what went down, folks. This is deeply disturbing. Donald Trump posted and then reposted and then reposted again at 12:30 a.m. after posting it earlier the following message: 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands of more to immediately follow should the Iranian government act on its threat, pronounced in many corners of the globe, to assassinate or attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States of America, in this case, me. Orders have already been given, and the U.S. military is ready, willing, and able for a 1-year period of time, subject to extension, to completely decimate and destroy all areas of Iran. Praise be to Allah, Donald Trump says, exclamation point. Praise be to Allah. And it's signed President Donald J. Trump. Folks, we have a truly, actually psychotic thing in the White House making these posts at 12:30 a.m. Earlier in the day, Donald Trump called New York Post and said, "I hope y'all miss me. I hope you will all miss me if Iran kills me." And then Donald Trump went on to again say how he has missiles trained on Iran and will destroy the civilization if he is killed. "I've left instructions. Just literally bomb them at levels never seen before if they kill me." Now, some U.S. officials said they were concerned that Netanyahu and other Israel officials told Donald Trump that Iranian leaders want to kill him. Now, I'm sure Donald Trump saw some of the mourners, I shouldn't say some, millions of mourners at Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral, both in Iran and Iraq. There were indeed lots of signs that said kill Trump and that had photos of Donald Trump. And of course, you all saw they burned the Donald Trump Lego float in effigy, and that clearly has terrified Trump. But our intelligence officers know how frail, fragile, and emotionally unstable Donald Trump is. And they were worried that Netanyahu was going to tell Donald Trump Iran wants to kill you, and that would make Donald Trump get emotionally unhinged, although everything makes Donald Trump emotionally unhinged. And so now, as a result, we have 2 U.S. aircraft carrier groups about 250 kilometers and another one 200 kilometers. The Abraham Lincoln, I believe, is 250. The George H.W. Bush is 220, right around there or so, from the coast of Iran. And Donald Trump has demanded that Iran announce to the world that Iran does not want to control the Strait of Hormuz by later today, or Donald Trump says the consequences will be dire. The Trump regime leaked to Barack Ravid earlier in the day yesterday that they are demanding that Iran tell everybody in a public statement, "We are sorry and we will not be controlling the Strait of Hormuz any longer. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Like Barack Ravid literally said, that the Trump administration is demanding Iran issue a public statement acknowledging the Strait of Hormuz is open and committing to stop firing on commercial ships. Didn't CENTCOM say the day before, claim Iranian state media claims that transit through the Strait of Hormuz is only permitted through routes designated by Iran. Truth. Iran does not control the Strait of Hormuz, says U.S. CENTCOM. Since early May, U.S. forces have helped facilitate the successful transit of more than 800 commercial vessels and 380 million barrels of crude oil through the vital international trade corridor. I mean, look, we know that Iran now controls the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. lost the war against Iran that it should never have been involved in with Netanyahu that began back in February. Iran has controlled its IRGC route. The U.S. has tried to open up this alternative southern route, as it's called, by Oman, and Iran has struck the tankers that have used that route and warned them not to use that route. Most of the ships then use the IRGC route. In the past 48 hours, it's basically been all of the routes by Iran, and there's basically not been a lot of traffic at all going through the Strait of Hormuz. The few ships that are leaving are going through the Iran route, no longer the Oman route, and still you have CENTCOM doing all of this propaganda, calling up state regime media Fox. And so Fox was even like, yeah, we got a call from U.S. Naval Forces, CENTCOM, and they're saying the southern route, that's the route closer to Oman that Trump wants to open up, that Iran has not allowed to really be opened up, and they've struck those ships that the U.S. has tried to push through that after the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, was entered into. And even Fox, you can see the marine traffic data that we've been showing you every single day on the MeidasTouch network on state regime media Fox right here. And they're like, yeah, that's what CENTCOM wants us to say. But yesterday, 22 ships crossed the strait. Most went through the Iran route. And you can see it on the marine traffic that they're using the Iran route. Also, before Donald Trump and Netanyahu's catastrophic war in Iran, there were about 120 to 150 ships every day. 120 to 150 ships. The other day, it was 22 ships. And they all went through the Iran route. And as we've been, look, first let me play you this clip and then we'll talk about it. Let's play it.
U.S. Naval Forces Central Command says that southern route remains open and has been expanded. The other routes, according to the U.S., are not protected. Yesterday, 22 ships crossed the strait. Only one of them traveled that Omani route. Most of them are electing to travel the route designated by Iran.
And one of the main things that we've been saying is if you take a look right here, I mean, look at this graph. This look familiar? Trita Parsi posted it, but we've been posting graphics like this all along. There are many reasons why another war with Iran would be foolish. This is one of them. Look at the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserves today compared to February 2026. This is what Trump used to keep gas prices low, despite the oil shock. It won't be able to do so easily again. Now, y'all probably thought, hey, Ben, you're a little bit of a strategic petroleum reserve geek. You kept on talking about it every day for the past several weeks. Well, that's because I saw what was coming, and that's why I was alerting everybody, because the strategic petroleum reserves right now are now, 16, 15, 14 million barrels away from hitting tank bottom, in which case there's a catastrophic outcome that results. It keeps on getting lower. This was part of the plan by the Trump regime to lower the price of crude by unloading the strategic petroleum reserve into the world market. They were also short trading crude, WTI, and Brent. But remember how I've been dorking out over the crack spread, the delta or difference between the crude price and the refinery price in the 3-2-1 crack spread situation, which was like $65 per barrel in the crack spread, which was record highs. Yeah, that's why you see right now gas prices are going up at the pump, because the price of crude, it's a different marketplace from the refinery price, which is ultimately the money you're paying when you fill up for gas, or when you fill up for diesel, or when there's jet fuel being fueled up by airplanes. And it's like Donald Trump's just learning these concepts in his idiotic regime is. And I'm like, come on, can we just shouldn't it be a Democrat or Republican thing? I just want to see some intelligent people. Speaking of intelligent people, I'll tell you who's not an intelligent person. Kash Patel. By the way, even Kash Patel is basically on the verge of being fired by the Trump regime. He was pulled off the tarmac as he was about to fly to Chicago to see his girlfriend perform at like a parking lot there. She's performing at some parking lot over there. And the Trump regime is like, hey, don't you see Iran's trying to kill Donald Trump? You're the FBI director. You're leaving to go to Chicago to see your girlfriend perform like in a parking lot there. And you're going on the private jet and you're just embarrassing us. Don't you see what Iran's about to do to Donald Trump? You're the FBI director. You got to stay here with him. And also MS Now has done some fantastic reporting on all of the like BMW fleet that Kash Patel has done and the Gulfstream jets and all of the money that has been spent on Kash Patel and his lavish lifestyle that he's been funding through the taxpayer dollars. And Chuck Grassley, MAGA Republican in the Senate, was questioning him. And so the Trump regime plucked him off the tarmac and said, get the hell back here. It's possible Kash Patel gets fired very, very soon. But then again, this is the Trump regime. So let me underscore, while Donald Trump is rotting alone, believing he's going to get killed from Iran, and he's also posting weird AI images of himself with a revolver, which he says that Erdogan gave him. Erdogan did as a gift to world leaders give him revolvers, but Donald Trump's posting this weird photo of himself with a revolver. So while Donald Trump's posting that, while the reflecting pool, this is a photo yesterday, is still Ninja Turtle green, but it's now also combined with ash and sludge and all that other stuff from the fireworks. It looks grotesque, by the way. Well, all of that's going on. Donald Trump's there in the Oval Office and just got news that the federal judge in Washington, D.C. has allowed Trump's corrupt and disgusting DOJ to officially dismiss the charges against the Proud Boys for seditious conspiracy. The Justice Department's most significant case against the far-right extremist group, the Proud Boys, has officially been erased. Federal Judge Timothy Kelly granted the Trump regime's motion to dismiss. Remember, the Trump regime Trump first pardoned them. And then Trump went again and then said, not only am I going to give these guys pardons and commute their sentences, not only that, I want their case dismissed, because now that their case is dismissed, they can now file a lawsuit against the federal government for hundreds of millions of dollars, which they're going to do, and your taxpayer dollars are going to go to pay these January 6th insurrectionists who were convicted in a federal court unanimously by federal juries for seditious conspiracy and other charges. But the Trump regime says, we're going to pardon you, commute your sentences, and we're going to dismiss the charges so that they never happened at all and treat it as though you were never even convicted, because they still had their, if you're like, well, how could they even do that? Weren't they convicted? Yes, but they were still appealing to the Supreme Court. So because the judgment technically was not final as they were appealing to the Supreme Court, Donald Trump stepped in and said, no, let's just wipe out everything from the record. Just purge the record. These are good people, not on both sides. These are the good guys. Remember how Trump used to be like, there are good people on both sides. No, the actual good people, Trump says the bad people. The bad people, Trump says, are the good people. And so they've got the case totally dismissed. It's totally off their record. And now they have a full path to sue, make hundreds of millions of dollars, which the Trump regime will probably pay them. And that's what Donald Trump is doing. And I think part of it too is you see what he wants though? He wants his own army. He's building a fence around the White House. He's building out the bunker. You see what he's building, a drone port in the East Wing. He's turning the White House into a military facility, preparing to not leave the Oval Office. He's surrounding it with permanent fencing right now. He's dismissing the case to build up his Proud Boy Oath Keeper army. Is it obvious to you what he's doing? Do I need to spell it out anymore? What the heck he's doing? He ain't leaving. He's going to sit there paranoid, fearing that Iran's going to kill him or this person or that person. That's what he's doing right now. That's what's going on. That's what the receipts that I've just showed you say. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get to 7 million.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.